We've probably all met Margot Kidder right here in movies like The Great Waldo Pepper and The Amityville Horror. But it was in 1978 when the whole world came to know her as Lois Lane in Superman. From the time she was young, Margot Kidder knew she would be an actress, but she never expected to be a spokesperson for the mentally ill, telling her story so that others might learn from it.
When I was about 12 or 13, it was obvious to me that I was different than the other kids and that I had certain moods, and I loved to sort of secretly go on these flights of fancy. I didn't know that there was this label for it, manic depression, which I've since learned to throw out. But the way I dealt with many of my symptoms, my mood swings, and my feelings of going crazy were by hiding. And I did that for a great deal of my life.
She begins seeing a psychiatrist in her early 20s, and it's the first of a long succession of therapies and the drugs that go with them.
When I first was on Valium, I remember thinking, oh, this is wonderful, this is what a drug I need. And then, of course, and then they kept saying it's not addictive, it's not addictive. But that then became very clear was a very dangerous drug. And it took me years to come off that.
Along with therapy and drugs, Margot also experiences something that she comes to despise: labels.
The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders, which is the DSM, lists on the top of the page of each section, say 7 to 10, whatever number, pick it out of a hat, characteristics a patient can display. And if you have 4 or 5 of those characteristics, you get the label on the top of the page. They're all bogus labels. It's a ridiculous way of diagnosing people or separating people. And I did find over the years that, having had every kind of therapy there was and read about every kind of therapy, that none of it ultimately changed the fact that half the mornings I would wake up not knowing who I was going to turn out to be that day and what my mood was going to be, what my reactions were going to be.
One of those mornings in April 1996 is the beginning of a bizarre 3-day journey that puts her on the front page of every tabloid in the country. Convinced her life is in danger, Margot spends the next 3 days on the streets of LA, literally on the run. She becomes the lead character in a movie of her own making. But it's not a movie, it's real life.
A delusion is fascinating. A delusion is as real to the person having it as you and me talking. Once you've got an idea in your head, such as the CIA and my ex-husband are out to kill me, then one's perception of what happens around all feeds into that. It was horrifying, it was mortifying, I wanted to die. But gradually, as I worked through it and got better, there was a great relief. There was a great sense of, oh, wow, it's a cakewalk from now on in. Because it wasn't in the closet anymore, could talk about it, and I found a lot of it funny.
Margot not only talks about it, she sets out in search of answers that go beyond the conventional therapies that have failed to help her. She begins reading about the theories of Dr. Abram Hoffer, founder of an alternative form of treatment called orthomolecular medicine. In the view of Dr. Hoffer and his colleagues, symptoms of mental illness come from chemical imbalances in the body and can be treated with proper diet and nutritional supplements.
Orthomolecular means the proper dose of the natural vitamins and minerals which we need for our health. Now, it's not yet generally accepted in psychiatry, where there's a tremendous amount of resistance, but in the field of medicine it's moving very, very quickly.
Since the 1950s, Dr. Hoffer has used diet and large doses of vitamins and minerals to successfully treat schizophrenia, manic depression, and other conditions.
I don't like the word schizophrenia. I think it should be classified as a vitamin B3 dependency, for example. It should be a objective diagnosis that leads towards certain treatment.
An important part of that treatment is nutrition, which according to many orthomolecular practitioners is sadly lacking in the Western diet. Using orthomolecular medicine as her guide, Margot takes stock of her own diet and the foods that could be at the root of her chemical imbalance.
was able to, first discovered I was hypoglycemic, that I was allergic to wheat, eggs, and dairy. We have to pretty much really hard eliminate the sugar. As my doctor said, you're not applying for sainthood, do the best you can.
We also have the causes where you need extra vitamins. We have the B3 causes. We have a deficiency of essential fatty acids, especially the omega-3 type, which is very important. We have a deficiency of vitamin B6, deficiency of zinc. There are all sorts of reasons. There may be at least 12 different reasons why people can develop schizophrenia or manic depressive.
So the key to all of it is balance, is getting the whole system balanced again. And you learn with supplements how to balance, but partly through trial and error. I take manganese to regulate. You can't metabolize sugar if you don't have enough manganese in your system. I take zinc because I've discovered that I have too much copper, which causes anxiety, and zinc is an antidote to that. Take a lot of niacin, a lot of B vitamins. I take a lot of everything. I travel with this suitcase with my supplements.
Today, Margot Kidder is truly enjoying life and her new lifestyle. Her acting career is busy both in Canada and the United States, but her favorite role of all is the one that she plays every day as herself.
Neurological and psychological disorders constitute one of society's...
I didn't ask to be in this position of being the poster child for mental health, but I'm in it. Got it hoisted on me, and it's very rewarding. It feels really good to be able to let other people get out of the closet and let them know, hey, boy, you sure aren't alone at all. There are millions of us, and there's a way you can get well. The first step you have to take in curing so-called mental illness, because it's really a physical illness, is start to do your homework. So you find for yourself what that balance is, where you're most depleted. Then once you've done the homework, it's simply a matter of, okay, breakfast I do this, lunch I do this, dinner I do this, before bed I do this. And do the body work. And it's really quite simple, and it's long-lasting, and you feel great.